後で編集すればいいから。
俺が映る意味はないから、その後でカット、もしカットもできるし、編集もできるから言い直しても構わないし。
OK。でもカメラと話す？あなたと話す？
こっちの方がいいよ。
こっちの方がいい。じゃあ、so at the beginning of this year, there was a really amazing story, a record-breaking story in Germany, in the state called Bavaria, Neuschwanstein, München, so in this prefecture, you could say. And there was a petition for a referendum. So the second step, and if the rule is, if you collect 10% of the population's signatures, then there will be a referendum. だからみんなが決める。そのテーマについて。And the topic was Save the Bees. だから蜂を助けよう。Because, as you might know, there is now a phase of mass extinction. Many insects die, and birds and other animals eat the insects. We eat the birds and other animals, so actually insects are very important for our life, and they create or transport the pollen and everything, so there is no life without insects. So what happened then in Bavaria is that in only 2 weeks, 1.8 million people signed, and they signed not only on the street, but they had to go to the town hall with their ID card. So the regulation is very strict, because Bavaria is traditionally a rather conservative country. A bit rural. Munich, of course, is modern and a big city, but then there is many villages as well. And the party that rules in Bavaria ever since is very conservative and wins all the time. And of course they didn't want this, and they were very connected with farmers and many others, but farmers who do only the industrial agriculture, big profit-seeking agriculture. So the law that we proposed, or that the initiative proposed, was very much about changing this, because all the science show that the agriculture and the way we produce our food is the main key to saving the bees and saving this life. So it was an absolutely amazing feeling, because nobody would think, right, that you would go, or that so many people would go with their ID to the town hall, especially in villages. People know each other, and then the mayor, he is also maybe from the Conservative Party, so it's actually kind of difficult for the people to go in the town hall and say, oh, here is my ID, I want to sign, because the mayor, he sits inside and says, oh, you don't trust me? And there is this pressure, group pressure, usually. But for this topic, people were very clear about it. I don't care, this topic is difficult. I don't care about ideology. I don't care about parties and everything. I know that this must be done. And so we did various actions. For example, I myself had a bee costume on me with wings, and we flew through the city of Nuremberg and Munich, through the town. Many people were out shopping or something, and we would flew by, and behind us was a person with a spray bottle. And in the spray bottle was glyphosate, maybe you know it, so chemicals that are very aggressive towards nature. And he would spray us, and we would run as bees, let's get there! And so people would realize, now is the time to collect the signatures. We have only 2 weeks. 市役所行かなきゃみたいな。And and it was absolutely amazing. So for example, on the main square of Munich, which is really big, there are also many tourists and everything, there was kind of a snail of people queuing up. So there were so many people waiting in front of the town hall, so they had to queue up like this, because there was not enough space. So many people wanted to sign every day in Munich. Alone, and then in Nuremberg, but also in the villages. In so many villages, people signed. And So eventually, yeah, it was done. So not only 10% signed, but 18% of the people. And the government before that said, maybe it's gonna be giri giri. So they would have the right to make their own proposal. So the initiative makes its own proposal. We want to make this law. So, for example, more biological agriculture, more protection of the bees, no chemicals, this type of law. And then if they want, the government can also make a proposal. We want to make this kind of law, and then the people decide. But as the government saw that so many people were already very clear about what they want, they waited for 2 weeks. Do we have our own idea how we would do it? But then finally said, no, actually we just accept this law. It's better like this. So yeah, really an absolutely amazing story. And the best thing is that this inspired many other prefectures of Germany. So now Baden-Württemberg and Brandenburg, other parts of Germany, saw what Bayern can do, and they said, well, if Bayern can do this, we can do it as well. And so they started, and now Baden-Württemberg and Brandenburg both already managed to pass the first hurdle. So now they are in the second stage and collect signatures. So when I come back to Germany from Taiwan, I will again put on my bee costume and my wings and fly again through the city to make this happen. And so maybe for Baden-Württemberg it might be the first ever referendum initiated bottom up for this topic, because people are very aware that now is the time. Maybe you know the Albert Einstein quote. He said, if the bees die, then we will die 4 years later. Because bees are responsible for almost 25%, I think, of the fruits and nutrition we have. Because thanks to the bees, they take the pollen and bring it to another flower, and that's why they grow. There is also a very interesting documentary, maybe, for example, I think it was in China. Many bees have already died out, and so there you have now people who are paid to do the job of the bees. So they go by hand to one tree and take the pollen and have to go to the other tree, and so much work, very inefficient and crazy, of course. Nature is actually so fantastic, and we should let the bees do that work. So, yeah.
簡単に
大丈夫だった
すごいいいと思う。でもタバクの最初どんな活動してるかとか、ちょっとだけ自己紹介みたいなのがあった方がいいかもしれない。ああいうダイレクトデモクラシーバスの話とか、タバクの名前もまだ一回も出てきてないし。
そう。じゃあ、
まあつけてもいいけど、オッケーオッケー。でもどうだろう。オッケーオッケー。
あったらいい。一回切る？
いや、
本当に大丈夫です。
じゃあちょっとアンニバスについて。
まあ自己紹介を。
自己紹介。
で、そのバスのことも含めて。
じゃあ、そう、私は特にオムニバスという、NGO でなんか働いてる、アクションする。で、そのオムニバスは特に美術？It's especially about arts, so not politics, but arts. And this bus drives through all of Germany every year, more than 100 cities. And so he drives to a city, stands there in a central place of the city for 1 or 2 or 3 days, usually, and just waits there. And the idea is that people feel this atmosphere, have this impression. What is this? So we are not like a campaign or like a political ban, with a lot of noise and everything. We just wait, and only if a person itself comes to the bus with a question, then the person is open enough for actually a conversation, what our world needs, what we need, how we can grow as human beings. So that's the general idea of the omnibus, but the omnibus then also supports wherever direct democracy is done. So in whatever part of Germany, if there is an initiative, the omnibus goes there and sort of gives an initial push, and many people or the omnibus, they then fly out to the city and collect signatures or inform the people. So in this situation, we obviously ourselves talk to the people like a campaign, because it's about getting as many signatures as possible. But yeah, so it's two elements. One is really thinking, developing arts, having time to think about what we need. And then the other thing is to do this and quickly collect signatures and actually make it. And yeah, that's the only way actually the politicians also learn it. So for example, this conservative government in Bayern, at the beginning of course they thought 2 weeks and over 1 million signatures with the ID in the town hall. Yeah, muri. Okay, you know, everything's okay, there's no way they can do it. But then when they saw, you know, many more people, already 2 days before, they went over the threshold of 1 million. So they were completely shocked, you know. Okay, wow, you know, the people are so much more brave than we are to change the law and, you know, to not think only about profit. Yeah, and actually I have another anecdote, maybe, if it's okay. In our group, there is one person, and he told us that he has a very close friend from Munich. And this friend from Munich, the two of them would always discuss about direct democracy. And the friend in Munich would always say, no, it's dangerous, or the people are stupid, you cannot do it, I'm very skeptical, no. And the friend would obviously argue, no, we need direct democracy, this is our way to collectively decide and improve our society. And they would always argue, and the friend from Munich, very skeptical. But at this time when this happened, I think it was a Sunday afternoon maybe? No, Sunday pre-noon, Sunday morning. This friend from Munich would call his friend whom we know, you know, he would call him. And crying, completely crying and saying, look, Carsten, or I don't know what his name was, look, I'm standing at this very moment on the square of Munich, and for the first time in my life, I have the feeling that I'm doing really something for my children, something purposeful. You know, you are right, this is the way to go, because he got to the Munich square to sign for this petition, you know, and then he saw so many people, and family, and old people, and young people, and poor people, and rich people, all, you know, naraberu like this, you know, and he realized, wow, やっぱり社会ということがあるんだみたいな感じ。
Thank you. いいよね。
すごいいいと思う。
いやー、うん。で、これからもっと頑張るで、なんか今度日本語で絶対。すみません、まだできない、難しすぎる。
今度11月に来るんだよね。
そう。
で、長くいるの？
半年。
オッケー。なんかやろうね。
じゃあ。
はい。ありがとう、タバック。Thank you.